Welcome to another episode on the Azure Reference Architecture Practical Series. In this episode, we are going to focus on deploying the RM templates using the Azure DevOps pipeline. Normally, I'm assuming that you already know how to create the Azure resources using the Azure portal or creating using the Azure PowerShell scripts or the RM templates from the local host. But let's take a look at what is the agenda for this episode. So we are going to create a project structure before even deploying into the Azure DevOps, and we'll create build pipeline in the Azure DevOps and also create the release pipeline. So this is the project structure looks like. And if you go to the build pipeline, so let me click on the build pipeline. So this is the build pipeline we are going to create from the scratch. And same thing with the release pipeline. I've already created, but I'm going to explain again how to create these release pipeline. And I've created 3 stages for each environment. So one stage for the dev environment, another stage for the test, and the third stage for production environment. And finally, we are going to deploy into 3 different environments. So once we create these resources into the 3 different environments, we are going to validate to make sure that the resources created as part of this Azure DevOps pipeline are working as expected in the Azure by logging into the Azure portal. So you see, I've created 3 resource groups, one for test and one for dev and one for production, and you will be able to see whatever the source code a part of the RM templates created is present in the Azure DevOps. So that's the validation we are going to do end of the course. So let's begin this course. If you are new to this course, I've already created a lot of videos on the Azure Reference Architecture Guide. The goal is part of this series, I want to build this live project hosting into the Azure, creating different services in a secure way. So this is a live project going running behind the scene with the microservices. So these are my microservices. This is my website, and I'm going to host this with these services. So far in previous videos, if you have missed any of the videos, you can look at, but I've already created a resource group. I've already created a virtual network, created a app service environment, and then I've created app service plan for a web app and another app service plan for the microservices. So almost 30% of the resources are created, and I'm going to continue for the rest of the videos. So it's a kind of a practical lab session. So I'm creating the documentation in this website along with the labs, along with this practical session. So I'll be talking about the scenario. I will be talking about what are the prerequisites and what are the action items we are taking as part of each lab. So the step 1, as I discussed here in this lab, the first thing we need to create the project structure. So before that, the prerequisites is I'm assuming that you have prior knowledge on the Azure basic fundamentals and Azure DevOps projects. And we are going to use the service principles for connecting from Azure DevOps to the Azure, assuming that the service principle is already set up and you have the RM template for automating these resources. So this is my project structure. In previous videos, I've already created this project template. So this is the RM template created, and have organized my folders with the sequence number so that easy to recognize when we are actually creating those provisioning those resources. And this is the sequence I would expect the resources to be created because they have the dependency. If I'm planning to create the VNet, VNet has a dependency on the resource group. So prior to that, you should already have the resource group. And when I'm creating the app service environment is going to sit inside the virtual network. So I would expect virtual network is already created before creating the app service environment. Same thing with the app service plans and apps. Before creating the app service plan or apps, the app service environment is already provisioned along with the VNet within the same resource group. So this is the sequence I will be creating in the RM templates also. So that is something you will be seeing in a soon. So let's focus on, let's say I will be creating the resource group and the VNet as part of this automation. So I have this file, the RM template file. In a previous video, I've already created this. I've already explained this, how I created the RM template. Basic idea is this will actually create the, let me go into the blueprint. This will actually create the virtual network with all these subnets required, one for web application firewall and one for VNet app service environment, one for API management and the storage account, and also the database. So those are the details this RM template contains. I've already also created a separate parameter file, each environment. So these environment values can also be part of the RM template Azure DevOps pipeline. In the release pipeline, you could very well add those in the release variables. If you go to the release variables, you can add those in the release variables, or you can use this parameter file and select that parameter file as part of the task. So the advantage having the parameter file in your source code is you will have a full control rather than depending on the RM template Azure DevOps variable. Because in the future, if you are migrating into or moving into different DevOps tool like Bitbucket or Jenkins, you might need to manage those parameters. So that's why I would recommend to keep these parameters inside your source code so that you will get a full control. So that's why I created a one parameter file for dev, one parameter file for production, and one parameter file test. And you will see that the values are different for each environment. So same thing, we are going to have the parameter files for every service separately, and we are going to use these files in the build and release pipeline. This is the step number 1. And now let's take a look into the creating the pipeline. So in order to create the new pipeline, what I have done, let me quickly explain what I have done. So this is the existing pipeline. So you can initially create the empty pipeline and add these two tasks. One is the copy file and second one is the publish file, where all my files are published into the draft folder and keep it ready for the release pipeline. So let's click on the new pipeline, and then I will select the other Git to make it easy. And you can select the Azure repos Git, and this is my project. This is my RM template project in the Git, and this is my branch. So initially I will start with empty pipeline. So I'm going to say apply empty pipeline, and then you can give the better name. I will call it as the RM template CI. So the first one I already have, so I will give a sequence. So this is my RM template name. This is my agent pool. So using the default agent pool and also agent specification. So agent specification Windows 2019 will work for me. This is my repository. And then these are the default properties. I will not change any of these properties. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a copy file task. So what the purpose of this task is copying all the files from source folder is going to be the RM template, all the files. So star that means all the contents, all the files into the draft folder. So so I'm going to actually use the variable artifacts staging directory. So if you go to the variables, that's the default variable. So even though it's not listed here, so I'm going to use the staging directory default variable for copying the files. That's the task number 1. I need another task for publish. So publish build artifacts. I'm going to add publish build artifacts from the staging directory path into the draft folder. So I'll leave the default name if you want to change the artifacts draft folder. So this is recommended name anyway, but in case if you want to change, you can change it. That's how I am going to publish the artifacts. Now I will save and quickly run. I can leave the comment section blank. Now I'm building the build pipeline. So this is going to basically copy all the files into the stage directory, and from the stage directory it is going to publish into the draft folder. So that's the purpose of this build pipeline. And from this build pipeline, I'm going to create the release pipeline, attach the build pipeline in the release pipeline, and then start reading the files from the draft folder, which is created as part of this. So if you look at this, so this is copying all the files which I have from the source code. So I've given the names here in RM template. This is the resource file for each environment and the same thing. So it is exactly copying this folder structure here. Those are my files. And then there are 27 files stored it in the draft folder as part of this one. So just to see what is inside the file, you can click on the build pipeline, and then you click on this link, published artifacts under the draft folder. So the folders are created along with the files exactly the way I created in the Visual Studio. So this is what expected as part of the build pipeline. And every time you run the build, it is going to create the build basically. So let me also enable this build so that when you commit the code, automatically triggered. You can say enable continuous integration from this main branch. So whenever you commit something, the code is going to build and prepare the draft folder with all the artifacts. So I will say save. I've already built, so I don't need to build it again. So in the next step, I'm going to create the release pipeline. In order to create the release pipeline, I'm going to create the release pipeline like this. So you click on new, say new pipeline, and by default this will give the stage name. So I can say cancel it. So first I need to attach to my build. So my build is I created this RM template CI1. So I'm attaching release pipeline into the build, and then I will add the stage. So maybe the job. I'll start with empty job, and this is going to my dev stage. Save it. And then slowly I can add tasks in this. So the first task I need here is the Azure RM template task. So let me search for RM template. So this is my RM template task. Let me add RM template task. So when you add RM template, you need the name. So this is going to create the resource group. So I will say deploy RM template deployment resource group. So I will be using this for the resource group. And then you need the connection string. So this is the service principal I was talking about. So in case you are not connected to the service principal already, you click on the manage, enter your credentials to connect to the Azure portal, and then it will create the service principal. So if I might make another video on how to connect to the Azure from the Azure DevOps, creating the service principal. But at this point, the focus is creating the RM template. So this is existing service principal. So I have one subscription, and then this is going to create a resource group. So there are two options here: create a resource group or the delete resource group, and then the resource group name. So since I already have the resource group, I'm creating this for the dev. I will select the existing dev, and the location is going to be West US. So I will say West US, and my template name. I have already linked the build pipeline to this release, so I can select the template name here. So I'm creating the resource group as part of this task, and then parameter file. So for creating the resource group, frankly speaking, you don't need RM template or the parameters here. So there is really nothing in the RM templates or the parameter files. Just to make it consistent across all the services, rest of the services, except the first one, you need Azure RM template and the parameter file. So I'm just making it consistent, but these two resources are actually not required. So this is going to be in incremental mode. That means if you already have, it will accept and it rerun the script again. And so let me create another RM template task for my virtual network. So let's search with the RM template deployment task. And this time I'm going to use the same service principal and the same subscription. Action is going to be create resource group. Under this resource group, and then location West US, and then template. So this task is for creating the VNet. So I'm going to select the RM template for VNet. So let me say create VNet. So I will also select the VNet parameter file. So this is the parameter file for the VNet. So I'm selecting from the dev because I'm creating this for the dev. So that's how you are going to create release pipeline tasks for RM template deployment. So one I've added for the resource group, and the second one for VNet. And you keep adding here app service environment, API management, or app service plan, web app, SQL server. So I will be adding more and more tasks in the future videos. For now, just to explain how to automate the resources as part of this episode, I will be focusing only on creating the VNet and resource group. So let's save this and look at the pipeline. And this is my pipeline, the dev pipeline. Now let's say create the release to make sure that the code is getting deployed to dev as part of this. So you can look at the logs and you can monitor. So the step one, it is trying to connect to the existing agent job. So this is using the default agent from the Azure. So you can see all the agent details here. So this is the first task, pulling the artifacts and then creating the resource group. So these are the files associated to this task. And the first step, it is validating, and then the second step is deploying. So that's the waiting for the console output from an agent. So the resource group is deployed, resource group task is completed, and then RM template VNet task is now under progress. So meanwhile, I can quickly show you, go to the resource group. This is the resource group creating as part of the DevOps pipeline. So it is already created. Now what we are doing is it's an incremental mode. I'm rerun the same script to make sure that the resources, the new code is getting added or appended to the existing resources. So if you look at the VNet task, it's pretty much the same. Make sure that you review the VNet RM template. This is the VNet related parameter file for the dev, and the validation successful, and the deployment is also successful. So that's how the dev code deployment for this one. So in case if you want to name it, better name for the release pipeline, so I would say RM template 1. So I can save this name. Now what I'm going to do is I will create another stage for test, and the third stage for production, and then deploy into test and production also. In order to create the one more stage, I can clone the existing tasks since I'm happy with the dev. So this is the another stage. If you want to keep some, how do you want to trigger? So is it immediately after the dev? So you can specify immediately after the dev. Do you need the pre-deployment approval at this point? Pre-deployment approval is required. I will keep it for production, not for test. So let me first change the stage name to test and go to the tasks. So these are the stage tasks. Since I cloned, it is copy of the dev tasks. But if you go to the parameter file, so this should be the test. So what you have to do is under the resource groups, you can select from the test. So same thing for the VNet. Rest of the tasks here pretty much same. I want to deploy to the same resource group. So in your real scenario, you might need to select a different subscription, and you might need, oh, sorry, I forgot. So this should be test resource group. You might want to have a separate subscription selected, the test subscription selected. Just for the demo, I'm keeping the same subscription, but the different resource group. And then this parameter file will be different for test, and the rest of should be same. The same thing in the VNet, the resource group should be test, and the parameter file should be the test parameter file from the VNet. So this is the test parameter file from the VNet. So that's how you will keep adding more stages. So let me create another release. This time it is first deploying into the dev, and then immediately after that, the test stage will be deployed and triggered and deployed. So this deployment should be quicker because we already ran the deployment for the first time. And since the services are already existed, so it's going to validate if there are any additional changes in the RM template or the parameter file. It's going to apply those new changes as part of the rerun these RM templates. So it's almost 19-20 seconds. I'm hoping this is almost done. So within 30 seconds, this should be done. And then it will pick the second stage, which is the test. Now, test is something, again, test, I also have the test resource group along with the subnet, and the all these details are already there. So this should not take much time. Again, this is going to kind of validate for the first time and override the existing deployments. So this may take a minute, hoping. Okay, so now the resource group completed, VNet is getting created, and you can see the time taken for each resource group creation. So normally, as I mentioned, these resources are already provisioned, and this, as part of this DevOps, it just validating and appending any additional changes. So that's why these are quicker. But if you are running for the first time, it might take a minute or two. These are the small resources, but the resources like app service environment, application gateway, API management, expect to run those as per the time given in the MSDN portal. Like app service environment take at least 2.5 hours. Apps API management will also take 30 minutes plus. So we'll discuss those in subsequent videos, but I just you have to be you have to understand the time taken for each of those resources. So let's quickly take a look at the test. So if I go to the resource groups, in the test resource group, it's just the overridden. If you want to look at the activity logs, you can look at the activity logs here. So this is something created a minute ago. That's how you can validate when the deployment is happening. Now create another stage for production. So creating another stage for production is going to be exactly the same as what we did for the test. So you can say, click on clone, just give the name to prod, and then under the tasks, so resource group. So you want this to be prod, and this parameter file is going to be from prod. So same thing for VNet, prod, select the prod parameter file. Okay, so now I created, let me save the slot. So one more thing you can do in the pipeline, make sure that you don't want this to be after the stage. So this should be automatic, and you can also keep the pre-deployment approval so that somebody will be approving before actually deploying to the production. So that's the best practice you can follow. Now let's take a look at review, make sure that everything is in a good shape. So this is the production one. Okay, so this is also production. Now let me create another resource only for the production. So let me see if I can create a so I'm going to run for the deployment. I think both are queued in parallel. So the dev one will be picked up. Okay, so the production one is picked up. So I need an approval. So once that is approved, then the deployment will queued and triggered. So the prod deployment is pretty much done. So again, this is validating the existing services. The deployment is completed. Yeah. Now the test one is triggering. So meanwhile, let's take a look at the prod deployment here. If I go to the activities in the prod resource group, so this happened a few seconds ago. So that's how you're going to validate your deployments once the deployment is done from the Azure RM templates. I hope this video is helpful. Always you can look at this portal for updated information. So as part of this series, we are talking about the Azure Reference Architecture Practical Guide. And this is not just the theory, it is also I'm also talking about the complete lab details. So you can look at all these videos in a sequence so that you will be able to understand the architecture I'm working on. Thank you very much for your time.